Here we go, y'all. Technical difficulties. I guess that's a part of the name of the game when it comes to these. For anybody that is watching the stream. Up. Lou, can you hear me? I'm going to turn my volume down. Okay. Appreciate you for tapping in. I'm starting this new series. I'm sure you've seen the promo and everything in order to make it happen. You are my first student that's doing this. So biggest stipulation about this is this has to be a public guitar lesson. So I am live as we speak. I am not showing you, but I'm about to start showing my screen right now. So I think, yep, you are visible on the screen. I believe everybody can watch this live stream as well. I'm not paying attention to the live stream until afterwards. So when this is over, then I'm going to revert my attention to the people who are actually watching the stream. But as of now, my attention's on you. How you feeling today?
Great. Good.
And I turned my volume too far down. Say something else.
Good. Great.
Perfect.
How you feel?
I cannot complain. Nothing to complain for, man. You have sound? Is everything good?
Yeah. You can hear it?
I can hear it. There is a little bit of static. I don't know if that static is coming through on the stream too, but I think that's a technical difficulty for another day. Actually, let's test that one more time. Play something else one more time. Okay. Stop really quickly. I'm going to... Yeah, that might be a problem for another day. The sound is... Yeah, whatever. It's slightly staticky, but I don't know why. We'll figure that out why. I read in your thing that you feel like you know a lot about guitar, which is good. That's good. A lot of people who sign up for my lessons, I've been doing these lessons a lot, but I've been doing private lessons for the longest, not really public lessons. So you're my first public lesson, as you know, and the questions have not changed. It's always, how much do you know about guitar? Do you feel like you know a lot, or do you feel like you know a little? I will change this to today. What are you trying to get out of this? And then it's usually built around my 4 pillars. If you're trying to focus on experimenting, creating, or learning songs, or technique, or music theory, and if there's anything else that I should know specifically. And you said you're interested in experimenting and creating, and you want to focus on neo soul and embellishment, solos, and stuff of that nature. Have you ever created a guitar song yourself, or done anything? Like, what's your creative process go when it comes to playing guitar? How does that work? How does that look for you?
So I tried one time back like last year, and it was just me messing around with different chords, and then I just but I forgot because I haven't played it in a minute.
That's real. So what did you mean by experimenting and creating?
So I was just like, so I played different songs on different chords in different positions, like to see, okay, does this sound good? Does this go along with each other? And if it did, I just included it into the song.
Okay, Lou. Uh, Give me maybe like 5 seconds. I want to unplug my interface and replug it back up just to see if it'll fix the sound.
Okay.
Ooh, it just cut everything off. Okay. I believe I'm reconnected. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I gotta reroute the sound again. And Sunito. Say something.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, beautiful. Sounds great. Yes. And I heard you the whole time. It just sounded very statically. So one more time, you were saying you're trying to it's like chord embellishments and like just making things sound a little bit fancier for you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let's start with a song. Pick a song, any song, something that you're real comfortable playing.
So I didn't know Redbone, but
Redbone.
yeah, I know that. Like the basic chords.
Can you hear my guitar?
No. Now I can.
Okay. One moment. Let me try to adjust that. You said now you can. Does it sound like it's effects being applied to it, or does it just sound like it's coming from my microphone?
Coming from your mic.
Still microphone?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. I thought I fixed all of that. Oh well. That's gonna be a problem for another live. You know, every single time that we do this, it's gonna get a little bit better every single time.
That's good.
Okay. Redbone. Play me the chords. What do you know about the chords? What are the names of those chords?
Okay. A sharp major, C, C major, and then D minor.
Okay. It sounded like you were playing A sharp major,
Yeah.
C major, and D minor, right? Are you just playing them as full bar chords? Or were you trying to, do you know all of the different types of chords that you can make, like extensions or anything that makes chords sound prettier than just basic chords?
I just know major seven chords.
Major seven. Okay.
Yeah.
The last chord is a minor chord. Do you know your minor seven chord?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Could we try all of those as just seventh chords by themselves? Just to see what it'll sound like, right?
Okay.
Cool. Do you know them in your A shape? Like, are you able to play them starting on the A string?
A sharp.
Yeah, major seven.
Yeah.
I don't think that sounds half bad. Now, the thing about neo soul and jazz style playing, because neo soul is really jazz influenced, or like uh, they use a lot of extensions. Seventh chords work, ninth chords also work. Add chords like add nine or add six or add two, which is the same thing as add nine. Those chords are pretty essential to neo soul, especially even like nine chords, like major nine, minor nine, all of those things. So as you are playing these chords, the thing about experimenting too is you never know what works or what doesn't work until you try it. A lot of times when it comes to connecting those dots and making it make sense, just automatically knowing it off a rip, you have to put in the hours to just automatically know what works for you. So if you were to play that first chord and you tried to play it as a major seven or a major nine, you kind of have to test all of those things in order to see if it sounds pretty enough for it to work in this scenario. Can you hear my guitar now? I did just reconnect the device.
Yeah.
Clearly, like not from the microphone.
Can you play it again?
With the effects and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Cool. I think when I unplugged, I had to reset it back up, but it's set up perfectly. Um, so I think it sounded good. Major seven. That second major seven chord, what is that? C major seven sounds weird with the note B natural in it. So I might keep that chord as just a plain major chord, and then D minor seven sounds good for me. But that's just some things that I would like to experiment and find out for my own liking. Now, subjectively, you might like the major seven on the C major chord. You might not think it sounds weird, but if it works for you, nobody can tell you that is wrong. They can argue, but I mean, at the end of the day, music isn't scientific. There is a science around music, but it started as cavemen singing. You know what I'm saying? The scientists came later. So, um, as you're playing these, when you're playing your major seven chord, are you barring with your index finger when you're playing it?
Yeah.
Nice. Try hammering on with your pinky. So take the pinky off. Yeah, come on now. That's a neo soul flare. That's literally all you need in order to add, I would say, in order to add like those embellishments to make things sound a little bit more neo soulish. Oh, same thing for the minor seven chord. I would take off both my ring and my middle finger and hammer both. Yes, that makes it more neo soul. Sure, you can leave it at a simple, just pure major chords and minor chords. and that works for the song. But there's so many like tiny things that you could do to make things sound neo soulish. So that works. Hammer-ons, slides work too. So instead of just going straight to that D minor, I could slide. Oh, maybe not a whole step. Half step sounds good. That time when I did the hammer-on, I played my E string, my high pitched E string last. Right? That's gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? And it's just
Mm.
tiny things like that. Do you listen to neo soul often?
No,
Oh, how you know you want to do it if you don't listen to it?
I just hear somebody play it a lot.
Okay. So you're inspired by the musicians around you.
Yeah.
You know somebody inspired those musicians? I hate to say it as like plain as day as that, but I mean, usually if you're inspired by somebody, you should dive into their catalog. Not necessarily what are they doing, but what influenced what they're doing. Everybody is influenced by something, right? You hear somebody's accent, somebody's dialect, and you might think that's unique to them, but it's not unique to them. They're just in a culmination of all of the experiences that they've had. So their accent is from their culture, from their environment. Now you might want to be around that environment a little bit more to dissect it because now you probably understand their accent, but you may not understand the way how their granddad talks because their accent might be a little bit thicker. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's good to dive into the inspirations of your inspiration. For me, I know a lot of good neo soul guitarists in person and some that I've never met a day in my life, but I listen to them quite often. I dived into their catalog, and the benefit of being a guitarist and the disadvantage of being a guitarist, you don't always have the artist aspect of it. So just because you're a guitarist, you may not have songs with your artist name on it, but you might be featured in a song as a guitarist. Case in point, one of my favorite neo soul guitarists, his name is Jubu, Jubu, Jubu Smith, I think. He's the same guy who made Tony's Anniversary. Oh, I don't, I don't know. I don't know it. I know that intro. That enough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But when I listen to certain guitarists play or when I listen to certain songs, because I've listened to a lot of neo soul and I've studied the guitarist, I can hear a guitarist play. I recognize the voice and I immediately know, oh wow, that's this guitarist. Uh Jubu Smith is a good one. He's played for Tony, Aaliyah, a whole lot of old school R&B, which has influenced modern neo soul. Like D'Angelo, for instance, may God rest his soul. He was playing with another guitarist. Oh, don't forget your name. He's always wearing a hat. Oh, what is your name? J Mo. Yes, you already know it. See, Jairus Mosey. So you already know a few neo soul guitarists. Can you name any other neo soul guitarists or
That one.
just that one? Okay. I would like for you to have a list of maybe like three. Just start with three. You don't even have
Mm.
to overdo it. Look up who they are, their catalog, and then just try to see if you can hear their sound in multiple songs that they play on. Or does it sound like it's a different guitarist on every song? Can you recognize their accent, their voice as a guitarist? Um, then try to learn it. The more that you listen to it, the more that you're around it, you're gonna pick up those characteristics. So JMO, he has this lick that I do all the time now. If we were playing Redbone as we were playing, that's how I would play it. That's a minor nine chord. And you see how it has a little sauce to it, right? Minor
Yeah.
nine. Do you know how to play minor nine? That's 5 3 5 5 on the A string.
Yeah.
Yep. Bar it with your index finger. Yep. I know it's awkward. So you're playing the fifth fret with your middle, barring the third fret with your index, and the fifth fret of the G string with your
Yeah.
No pinky though. Not yet. You're gonna hammer on with the pinky because you're barring. Yep, that's it. And we're going back to that distorted sound. I don't know why it's doing that, but the lesson's only so long. So, um, that hammer on to the fifth fret with the pinky. Yes, that's fancy. Then if as we did earlier with the major seven chord, where we hammered on with the pinky, but then we played the E string, you could do the same thing on the minor nine chord. But now it's playing the third fret of high pitch E. Yes. And try the same thing in reverse with pull offs. So I did hammer, E string, pull off.
Mm.
Yes. And then the better that you get at it, the faster that you get at it. So the strings that I am hammering on and pulling off with, I'm hammering on to string two, playing string one, pulling off on string two, playing string three, back to hammering on a string two. So it's like 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. String numbers, that is.
Mm.
I got that from Jubu Smith. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to one of his old school, like 2008 recordings, and I said, yo, that's fancy. I need that. And now I throw it into all my, literally almost every song because it just feels that good for me. I love neo soul guitar though. So, but if I'm listening to it, then I'll be able to recognize stuff like that. Even certain licks, you can consider that a lick, even though it's not a single note. A lot of people don't like to think about licks as chords, but if you're embellishing a chord, that can be considered a lick. Just like riffs can also be chords too. Riffs don't have to be single notes, but riffs can be like rock licks. You know what I'm saying? Riffs.
Yeah.
Rock riffs are usually power chords or like a bunch of repeated melodies or things of that nature, but they're chords still. So that is a chord lick that I do on minor nine. And you can apply the same thing to major seven too. Now, the thing about doing all of these embellishments, you don't want to overdo it. So that was a bit much to do in just one phrase. Doing both of those hammer-on flourishes, I wouldn't do it in the same phrase. I'll probably just do one. That's a hammer-on with just a minor seven. Arpeggiating is good, and I still hammered on with it. And I didn't even do it that fast that time. I didn't do it. What's that? One again to triplet, trip. That was triplet feel. You know what I'm saying? But I did. Uh, those were 16th note triplets or maybe 32nd note triplets the first time I did it. But the second time I did it as 16th notes. 1D and a 2E and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So consider neo soul embellishments like seasoning. You put too much seasoning on something, it starts to taste bad. You don't have any seasoning on anything, it starts to be bland. So that was just one song. Could we try another song?
Mm-hmm. We could try Strasbourg.
Strasbourg. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Play that
Continue.
again. Nice. Those are already seventh chords. Do you hear an echo when I'm talking?
No.
Okay, cool. Google Meet tried to warn me that I was echoing. Those are already seventh chords. Now you could just apply those same things that we talked about. So the hammer-ons, I probably wouldn't do it on the second chord, but the second string hammer-on, yes, nice. Now there's one thing that you probably have not heard, or you probably have heard. I don't know if you do this often, but it is something that I am slightly able to hear through the screen. it
Hmm.
sounds like you're strumming or finger picking very strongly. You're on an electric guitar. Trust the volume of the electric guitar, right? So the finesse of play can make it that seasoning. You don't have to slap a lot of seasoning on your food. Just a sprinkle, a smooth sprinkle across it will make it just as flavorful as if you were to slap it on. Because now you don't have to stir as hard or do anything. Now it's just there. So you're not playing rock music. You don't have to. That changes everything at that point. So yeah, be a little bit more graceful.
Okay.
Uh, major nine chords. Are you familiar with major nines?
Yeah. They look like this, right?
Yes. Try it. Half step down because the last chord was C sharp, D flat. Yes. So oftentimes you can replace your minor sevens for minor nines, your major sevens for major nines. It's not as cut and dry as that because the scale degrees that you're using are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. But technically, those scale degrees that I'm saying are specific to the chord. That may not be specific to the key of the song that you're playing in. So Strasbourg is in A flat. So there's a specific amount of notes that you're playing in A flat. Uh, that I just replaced the second minor chord. That is a minor seven, C minor seven with a minor nine, right? My high pitched note is the notes D. D is not in the key of A flat. A flat plays the notes D flat instead of D. So that chord would not work. Maybe if I did a flat nine. Oh, thoughts. That works. It's a little weird though. Or even just the octave. So that's a weird way of playing a minor seven chord. That's without the five. I don't know if you're familiar with that shape. What I just played was 3 1 3 1 on C. So third fret, first fret, third fret, first fret. Barring it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yes. Because if I tried to play minor nine, that D, the note D, would conflict. I could probably just do raise up my pinky finger or take it down a whole step. So when we took it down a whole step, we changed it to the note C. That's in the key of A flat. Or if we raise up that third fret of B to the fourth fret of B, that takes it to the note E flat, which is in the key of A flat. But at that point, now it's not a minor nine chord anymore. But it's still a unique way of just playing. It's a unique way of playing your minor seven chord still when we were playing it with 3 1 3 4. And this chord, 3 1 3 1, still a minor seven, even though we're not playing the five, because I believe the scale degrees we're playing are one, flat three, flat seven, one. So it's still technically a minor chord without the minor seven chord without the five. And I hope I'm not going over your head when I'm saying this, am I?
A little bit, a little bit.
Ah, scale degrees. So all of that goes into the point that I was trying to make, where in the beginning I mentioned how you may not know what embellishments work for the song. Like you might try to throw in some hammer-ons, you might try to replace your major sevens with major nines. You may not know if it works for that chord progression until
Mm.
you try it. You have to experiment and see if you don't like it or if you do like it. And if you don't like it, more than likely it's because what you tried to do was out of the key of the song. So to tie that together with what I'm saying without trying to go over your head, as I was mentioning the scale degrees of the chords I was playing, that's of that chord. So when I'm playing B flat minor seven or C minor seven, I'm saying the scale degrees as if C was one. That's 1 5, flat seven, flat three. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay. That is not the scale degrees of the key of the song, just of the key of that chord. I wouldn't even say the key of the chord. That's the scale degrees of the chord, not the key of the chord.
Oh,
But that's a C minor chord. which fits inside of the key of A flat major, because that is the key of the song we're playing in. And the note C is in there. That's why you can play a C minor. However, you're not able to do every extension of a C minor chord. Like you're not able to do C minor 9 because one of the notes in C minor 9 will clash with the original key of the song, being A flat. So that's more of an advanced skill. That's going to take a lot of intention or a lot of study, a lot of dissecting in order for it to make sense. But it only makes sense when it does make sense, right? So don't overload yourself with trying to figure out all of those things. I think the beneficial thing about experimenting is experimenting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I also well, I understand the part of experimenting and also just focusing on trying to find different things and just actually doing things. But do you also know about embellish? Well, that's what we just did, but melodies too at the same time.
Melodies.
Yeah. So like playing the melodies around the chords.
Ah. So technically, we kind of did that. Usually, whenever you are listening to melodies and chords being played at the same time, there's a concept in guitar and piano, a lot of polyphonic instruments that can play chords and melodies at the same time. We call it chord melodies, which allows you to play a chord and a melody at the same time. So if I were to play Strasbourg, or let's go back to what's that? What song was that called again? Ratbone?
Right.
Ratbone. I played the melody. Oh, that was a lot of thought process to do that. I've never done that before. But usually the melody, as I just did, is the
Mm-hmm.
highest pitch. That's what allows you to hear it. Sure, I could probably take it down. What chord? What note is that? That's the 3. So now my 3 is inside of the chord. But it doesn't sound like it's peeking through because my melody is inside of the chord. Oh, it's not the highest note anymore. So step 1 is to try to make your melody the highest notes of your chords. It helps if you can recognize what are the scale degrees of the melody
Mm-hmm.
and then apply it to the chord itself. So as I was just playing Redbone, that's in the key of uh, that's when we're talking about scale degrees of chords versus scale degrees of keys, and that's when things can get a little confusing. So without diving deep into chord melodies, I'll just keep it simple by saying keep the melody as the highest pitch. So try to find the chord shape of a C major, or that's B flat major, that allows you to keep the highest note as your chord tone or as your melody tone. Now, when we were embellishing those chords, technically we were making our chords more melodic. So that we're adding a melody to it. Just by you doing this, people are here because it's the highest note. People aren't hearing, they hear inside of it, but that's more of a harmony. It's not really the melody that you're listening for. So if you're trying to do melodic embellishments centered around chords, that is one way to do it. Just embellish the chord itself. Now, dive deeper into playing within the key of embellishing that chord. So all I did was just play around D minor. That was just my pentatonic shape.
Minor, right?
Say that again.
Played in the key of D minor.
Because that's the key of the song. It's in the key of D minor. So I just played the pentatonic in its root position. So if I was playing, I could add the melodies from that pentatonic. However, playing it in root position may not be the best idea because I just played my B flat chord right here. Has to jump all the way to play the D minor pentatonic shape that I know in my root position. And that's probably even a weird position because that's my A string pentatonic shape, my A minor pentatonic shape, not my E minor pentatonic shape. So it might be weird for me to jump across the neck, which is why it's good to learn all the shapes of the pentatonic. So
Mm.
I know my pentatonic right there. I know it right there too. Oh, oh, now I feel like I'm practicing. Come on now. I don't usually play it on the open strings often, so that's why I felt a little weird playing that one. That's a little bit of a practice session for me. I probably shouldn't be practicing while I'm teaching, right? But it's good to practice all the shapes of the pentatonic. And it's more scales than just the pentatonic, but usually everybody knows. Do you know your pentatonic scale?
Yeah, I do all shapes.
Okay, see, now you're proving my point. Usually everybody knows the pentatonic shape, so it works easily for you to just play the chord, try your pentatonic, and just keep it simple. Don't even try to keep it in time. Don't try to overdo it, but just keep it simple by playing. Oh, just trying to stay within the pentatonic shape that is closest to the chord that you're playing. So originally you played it on your E string. Oh, okay. And that's just me experimenting in order to figure out how the melody can fit within that chord shape. Did that go over your head or did that make sense?
Makes sense.
That's something that you just have to practice though. Like I can give you note by note, but it won't fully click until you just try to do it. So try the chord, try to figure out what pentatonic shape works within that chord, um,
Okay.
within that key as well. Lastly, only thing I would like to leave you with, if you don't have any other questions, because we are at a 30-minute mark.
No, I'm
When,
okay.
whenever you're experimenting, there's two ways of experimenting. You can either experiment with intention or experiment. I think I usually say this for creating with the goal to be intentional or creating with the goal to experiment, right? So I think about it a lot because I started as a producer before I really got proficient as a guitarist. Sometimes I would get in the studio with friends and they already had their mind and their goal set on finishing the song that they came to the studio in their heart. They said, we got to finish the song. We got to write this song. I already have everything. They already have all of the intention that they're ready to. Sometimes they have no idea what's going to happen. Both of
Mm.
those are forms of creating. Both of those are forms of experimenting, right? You can experiment, like play your guitar, create, be creative, knowing what you're doing, having that intention behind what you're doing, knowing the direction to play, knowing exactly what to play. Or you can play with the goal of being creative and just seeing what happens, right? So as I was just playing Redbone and I was trying to add in all of those melodies, I was literally just doing it with the goal of experimenting to figure out what works. Sure, I wanted to be intentional about playing within the pentatonic shape, but once I get comfortable within those pentatonic shapes, at that point, I'm just being intentional about what I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know where those notes are. So I've experimented long enough. I've done it just for the joy of trying to figure it out. Now it's time for me to be a little bit intentional. but give yourself grace and always have a specific approach that you're doing. So if you're trying to be intentional with your experimentation, with your creativity, don't overload it. Don't make unrealistic expectations and say, I'm trying to finish the whole album today. I'm trying to play this entire song today that I've never played a day in my life, but it has a whole bunch of crazy chords that I've never heard of. Unless you just have the time and the brain capacity to make that happen. But this is a lot. Like 6 strings, 22 frets. 6 times 22 is a whole bunch of math that I don't know the answer to. You know what I'm saying? But um, give yourself grace. Experiment. Try to see what works and piecemeal it chunk by chunk if that's your goal for experimenting and creating. Now, if your goal is to be intentional for your experimental experience and your creative experience, then be intentional. But make sure that your goal is defined before you even pick up the guitar. Don't pick up the guitar and be like, I'm just trying to play, and then get mad because it's not going your route. Was your goal to play something random? Was your goal to play something specific? So if you're trying to do something specific, already have the game plan for the specificity, if that's a word. If you're trying to just figure it out, then be like, oh, okay, I like that. And then write it down, record it, do whatever you do in order to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Cool.
Thank you.
Pleasure's mine. Any other questions? Because we've hit our 30-minute mark. I'm just trying to make sure I'm satisfying this lesson for you.
No, I'm good.
Cool, smooth. Well, I appreciate you for tapping into this public lesson. You are who I do this for. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there with a guitar in their hand that want to get better, but they just don't have the resources or the money to pay for lessons. So whenever you're ready for another one, definitely schedule the private lesson, the public lesson, not private lesson, using the same link. The password might change though. I know you saw the password in the promo, but my goal is to change the password either weekly or on every lesson that I do. But as I'm still in the early phases of promoting this, the password will remain the same, maybe for this week, maybe until next Saturday. So YTLIVE, use that same password if you try to schedule another lesson before I change the password. If not, you will have to find the password in my lessons that I'm going to be giving. So join other public lessons, see what I'm teaching them, and see if you can take away anything from that. Nice. What were the takeaways, just in case you forget?
Okay, so number one, I learned that with embellishments, that it's about mainly like, for me, using the high strings because that's what the melody of the songs are.
Yes.
So mainly like maybe just like a hammer on or pull off.
Yep.
Like that. I also learned that whenever I want to play neo soul, that I should mainly primarily focus on just listening to artists who actually do play neo soul and going through the songs that they play and seeing their voice in.
Yes.
Okay, what do they always play, their licks, and actually try learning that. And over like second nature to me. I'll be able to do the same thing. Also, with embellishments, no, with chord melodies, I should use the pentatonic scale, if I'm correct.
Simply put, pentatonic is just one of the simplest scales because it's not that many notes. You don't have to overthink it.
Yeah.
You just got to get comfortable with the shapes. However, any scale works if you know all of your scales, all your modes, and all those things. But you don't need all of that in order to be creative. And that's not necessarily what I was saying with the chord melody. You kind of combine the chord melody concept and the chord embellishment concept. So, chord melody is usually the high pitch notes for your embellishments. You know what I'm saying? Not even for your embellishments, for your melody, the high pitch notes for the melody. And your embellishments, sure, you can embellish the high pitch notes, but you can also embellish the inner notes too. So I was playing like major sevens and embellishing my high pitch note. But if I was doing a minor nine, major nine, that's not my highest note. Or even if I was doing it on the E string, it's not my highest note, but I can still embellish it. But yeah, just to correct that, figure out what works for you though in regards to that. You have to experiment in order to find out what works best.
Okay.
Cool. Appreciate you for joining. I'll catch you in the next live stream.
Sure. All right. Have a good.
You as well. Ooh-wee. Is anybody on the live right now? Is anybody on the live right now? Let me stop sharing my screen and just show my face. I probably need to set up the ring light too. Live studio. 8 views, 1 person watching. Okay. Not great, not horrible. Cool. Well, I'm glad that I've done this, even if it was not extremely as I was saying, I'm glad that I've done this, even if it was not extremely like visible for everybody to see. I believe public lessons are probably going to be the wave. And if everybody does join eventually, you'll probably find the things that work for you, even if you're not on the lesson yourself. But I'm going to continue to promote this. I'm going to continue to share this. If you happen to watch this after it's been publicized, after, and you aren't the one who was watching it during, then you're still in good graces because you can still learn a lot of knowledge from this. I'm going to rewatch these myself just to figure out the best ways to present this information to make sure that it is clear as day for anybody that is watching. Um, and I guess I'll go from there. But I appreciate everybody who has tapped in, my 8 viewers. Usually I have more than this. I've never done a live stream for, I don't even know how long I was live, 48 minutes, 50 minutes, and I've only had 8 views. Granted, I could partially pin that to the fact that this is a horizontal stream instead of a vertical stream. I usually do my vertical streams. So just something to consider, something that I'd have to re figure out. But anyway, though, thank you all for watching. Peace out, Girl Scouts. If you're interested in signing up for your own public guitar lesson, make sure you click the link in the description. Inside the description, you will find a link, and the password is YTLIVE in order for you to have your own free guitar lesson. Anyway, though, I'll catch y'all on the next live stream. Peace.